Doja Cat's career is officially over now. For those that are unaware, I'll briefly catch you up. Recently, Doja Cat was very rude to her fans for seemingly no reason.
You act like I have some responsibility to be like babying people and treating people like stupid, but they're not stupid. That's why I yell at them.
As a result of this, people went off on her, with some people saying she deserves this, and most people who had tickets to her show refunded their ticket.
Doja Cat just continues to be a truly unlikable person.
Doja Cat has lost about 500,000 followers on Instagram, and this was due to some of the statements she made about her fans.
She recently took to Instagram to address all the people that have been unfollowing her. She said, seeing all these people unfollow me makes me feel like I've defeated a large beast that's been holding me down for so long.
And it feels like I can reconnect with the people who really matter and love me for who I am and not for who I was. I feel free.
I see it as a form of entertainment. I feel like we're all kind of enjoying that argument on Twitter, or that you know, the mess that comes with rude comments and stuff like that. I like to kind of dive into it.
Oh my gosh, this eyeliner is like, I can't let me itch my eyeball. Don't do that at home. I'm a trained professional because I've always had like 5-inch nails on since basically the day I was born. I was just born to slay like that, you know? Anyways, hello everybody, it's me Salem and welcome back to my Chanel. It's hot in here. Mystery Juice is back. I really thought that I was giving Holly Berry Catwoman tease, but instead I look like I'm giving Spirit Halloween vibes. But I'm also dressed up as something that Doja Cat apparently hates, which is a kitten. My fans don't name themselves shit. If you call yourself a kitten or f***ing kittens, that means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house.
Clap if you care. All right, let's move on.
There is something wrong with Doja Cat lately. And no, I'm not talking about her going bald or posting pictures of herself drenched in blood on her Instagram. Artists change and they grow and they change their aesthetic and they also change their sound. However, for some reason, Doja has also changed her attitude a lot.
You act like I have some responsibility to be like babying people and treating people like stupid, but they're not stupid. That's why I yell at them.
When I first heard about the whole Doja Cat controversies, I didn't really pay much attention to it because I was like, okay, you know, every week the internet chooses a new celebrity to cancel and hate on. So, you know, this week it's gonna be Doja Cat. But Doja Cat keeps reappearing on the cancellation train. You know, the toxic gossip train. Like, she's been a passenger for a while, like this whole entire month. And then when I heard that the cancellation of Doja Cat was because she was like rude to her fans or she was ungrateful or whatever, I personally was like, who cares? Usually because whenever I do hear about celebrities or influencers being like rude to their fans or whatever, it's actually like not them ever being rude. It's just them trying to set boundaries or telling people to stop harassing them online or whatever. So I just kind of assumed that was the case with Doja Cat until I started seeing these TikToks popping up on my For You page.
Doja Cat, we love you, baby. Shut your ass up. God, y'all are so annoying. You make my bald head itch.
Wait, don't you love your fans?
Do I love my... What's your name? What's your name?
Craig.
Speak up. Craig, my name's Craig.
No, Craig. I don't know y'all, but I know you, Craig, so ask me. Doja, do you love Craig?
Ask! Doja, do you love Craig?
No, Craig.
Okay.
This woman hates all of us so much that I genuinely believe that she's almost doing this on purpose. I feel like this situation with Doja Cat and being rude with her fans and her changing and her energy just being really off is a lot deeper than what people are making it. Call me a trampoline because I really do be jumping to conclusions, you know? I think she has every right to break that parasocial relationship with her fans. However, the way that she's going about every single thing that I just mentioned is not okay. And she's doing way too much. So sit back, grab a glass of water because it is so hot in here. Grab some mysterious green juice to drink to stay hydrated. If you have a cat, that was me telling your cat
To scratch your eyeballs out.
Anyways, let's get into this. Part 1, the rise and fall of Doja Cat. Born October 1st, 1995, known professionally as Doja Cat, is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, and record producer. Based in Los Angeles, she signed a recording contract with RCA Records in 2014, releasing her debut extended play, Her, in a series of singles including Go to Town, So High, and Tia Tamara. But first, Doja Cat rose to her prominence in 2018 with her single song Moo, which became a viral success on YouTube, which then got her on Verified, where people got to see an insight to her personality, where she came off as very charismatic, not taking herself seriously, and very lovable. She started to reach major success in October 2019 after releasing Bottom Bit, the lead single from her second album. It was followed by the release of the single Rules, alongside the announcement of her second studio album, Hot Pink. Hot Pink was officially released on November 7th, 2019, with very highly favorable reviews. The album would peak to number 9 on the Billboard 200. She later released the single Boss Bitch as a part of the soundtrack for the 2020 movie Birds of Prey. In 2020, the fourth single of Hot Pink, titled Say So, was sent to the radio, and it became huge on TikTok with people doing viral dances to it. Then in April 2021, she teased her upcoming album with the release of the single Kiss Me More featuring SZA, and the track spent 19 consecutive weeks in the top 10 Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 3. And because of Planet Her becoming so incredibly successful, she hosted the MTV Video Music Awards ceremony in 2021. At the awards ceremony, she was nominated for Artist of the Year, Best Visual Effects, and Video of the Year. She would also win the awards for the Best Art Direction, which she shared with Saweetie for the music video Best Friend and Best Collaboration. However, during the height of her fame of Planet Her, people started noticing that Doja seemed really over it. At one point, people started noticing that she was playing the song Say So much that she looked tired of performing it on stage. After a while, Doja Cat seemed to return to her old likable self. She would make loads of TikToks, go live, and a lot of people seems to have forgotten her controversies, such as the Tiny Chat incident where she was saying slurs and getting paid by people in Tiny Chat to be kind of problematic, as well as leaked video footage of her doing things that were really sus. All that stuff kind of went underneath the radar until one specific feud that kind of, I would say, was the catalyst that officially ended kind of her likability with fans, was when Doja entered an online feud with the Stranger Things star Noah Schnapp, who plays Will, after he leaked their private messages discussing her crush on Netflix co-star Joseph Quinn. Now, the TikTok that Noah Schnapp made was all in good faith, and around this time, it was very normal for people to like roast Doja on TikTok, and she would roast them back or say something funny, but for some reason, she did not react the way everyone expected her to react. She was pissed
that Noah did that, like went and posted a private conversation between me and him, is so unbelievably like socially unaware and whack, and like, you know what I mean, like that's like borderline snake shit, like that's like weasel shit.
Just admit you're mad that you got caught being thirsty. That's just the truth. You got caught slipping. You got caught being thirsty over Eddie Munson, okay? Cringe. We get it, okay? But you could have easily saved yourself from making this situation worse. Joseph Quinn definitely not gonna want you now. On top of that, Noah was actually the one to be the bigger person in the situation later that month, saying that there were no hard feelings between him and Doja, which left a lot of people confused because everyone was like, Noah, why are you apologizing when Doja was the one who was not only the adult in the situation, but also was caught slipping, but also third, made herself look dumb and tried to drag Noah in the process. So she should definitely be the one that's apologizing to him. And because of this, Doja actually ended up losing 200,000 followers. Now, the reason why I say that this drama was the catalyst to everything that I'm going to be talking about is because after this drama is when Doja officially went on to mark her new era. Literally right after the whole Noah Schnapp drama, people noticed that Doja had completely deleted all of her TikToks and she changed her profile picture to whatever this is, and she came back with a shaved head as well as a bruised eye. People were then accusing her of being part of the Illuminati and being part of like you know, just a bunch of, you know, just people were making a lot of crazy conspiracies around her. But the number one thing that a lot of people noticed that changed the most about her was her attitude change. And along with this new aesthetic that she has made, she had come back onto the internet with a whole brand new persona and attitude, and one that was deemed very unfavorable by everyone. Part 2, Where's the Old Doja? A conversation about female artists and owning their attitude, and how society fights back at them. When Doja Cat came back and introduced her fans to her new era, there then started to become this new hashtag and comments all over the place saying that,
oh, we miss the old Doja. What happened to the old Doja?
Because of Doja losing a little bit of weight and shaving off her hair, people were saying that she was no longer this thick baddie that everyone liked, which I personally think is stupid. I really do believe that Doja is still very much beautiful. I don't understand why female artists have to look a certain way in order to make people happy. I feel like they should be able to wear whatever they want, do whatever they want with their hair, lose weight, gain weight, do whatever they want cosmetically, because that doesn't affect their talent or music. So I will say the fact that she started getting hate over her looks, completely ridiculous, and her frustration that she was showing afterwards from receiving so much criticism because of her new look, I personally think is valid. There were many times where she clearly was fed up with people talking about her new look.
Felt like doing a pretty beat for you boring ass lemon water is out there, so you can shut the fuck up now and leave me the fuck alone. Ciao.
As well as a now deleted tweet where she said,
I won a Grammy and traveled the fucking globe. I've had a #1 and went platinum. I make hit after hit, and you all want me to look fuckable for you. Go yourselves.
Very often female artists in literally every industry, it doesn't matter what industry it is, it could be acting, it could be singing, you could be a magician, it is seen as a requirement to stay attractive, to stay sexy and all that type of stuff in order to remain successful or likable, which is horrible. Like, I remember running into TikToks when Doja would do like her song Woman live, and people would react to it saying, oh, she's so hot, she's so this and that, and now all of a sudden, just because she shaved her head and lost a little bit of weight, now it's all, oh, she's different, she's ugly, she's this and that. Like, I don't know, it's very telling. It's very telling to how our society approaches women that they don't deem attractive anymore. They treat them as like, you are no longer of use to us, so leave. After the whole Noah Schnapp thing, it just seemed like she was getting bombarded with something after another, after another, after another, and you could tell that rage definitely started to fester inside of her and be pent up, because then she started lashing out on people on Twitter, TikTok, and also Instagram. I don't think people understand how overwhelming online hate can get, and especially when it's about your looks and weight, and then people saying that they miss how you used to look or whatever. I can only imagine going through that with millions and millions of comments and people tagging me in photos of how I used to look. That 100% could affect someone mentally, and the way that Doja has responded to the criticism, I think, is in her own right, in that she is valid to an extent, because what she's experiencing is sexism and it is hurtful. And it seems because of all of this criticism and hurtful things being hurled towards her ever since her new aesthetic change, that she has almost built up a stronger wall, or a wall that comes across as very defensive, which happens when you do get bombarded with a lot of criticism and hate and bullying. I think taking it out on fans who do want to actively show her love is not right. However, I will say that I don't know why people are making her whole attitude change such a big deal, especially because there are so many male celebrities and men in Hollywood who are a million times worse than Doja and what she has said. Do y'all remember when Justin Bieber was like spitting at his fans on a balcony and peeing in buckets and stuff, and y'all were still eating that up? So where's the same energy? Whenever female celebrities stop catering to the male gaze and stop catering to people's fantasies of them, people get really pissed, and I really do think that Doja unfortunately fell victim to this. There are so many male celebrities who their whole thing is literally them being like rude and narcissistic and full of themselves, and people think that it's iconic. But as soon as a female artist or actor or whatever starts to pick up the same energy, people get pissed. In the words of Miss Minaj,
you have to be a beast. That's the only way they respect you. Is that wrong? Wanting more for myself, wanting people to treat me with respect? When I am assertive, I'm a bitch. When a man is assertive, he's a boss.
Bossed up.
He bossed up.
Yeah, he bossed up.
No negative connotation behind bossed up, but lots of negative connotation behind being a bitch.
People are saying from Doja is that she's becoming meaner and more of a bitch. But in my opinion, she is just becoming stronger and setting up those boundaries even harder. Again, however, there are healthy and proper ways to do that. But unfortunately, in the moment, it's really hard to go about it because you're so filled with rage, anger, and bitterness towards everyone that even people who want to compliment you or show you love, it feels almost like it's a setup, and you end up becoming like extremely paranoid, which is why like that would explain Doja Cat kind of attacking her fans even if they want to show her love. But like I'm saying, that doesn't justify anything. At the end of the day, if there's a better way to go about things, you should probably take that route and not just lash out on everyone. It still doesn't excuse the unnecessary backlash that she's given her fans, as well as the decisions that she's made in her personal life, such as dating Jay Cyrus, which has a lot of accusations against him. The pair were pictured kissing on a yacht in June, and after these photos surfaced online, people came forward with allegations against Jay Cyrus, and many of these users were actually fans of Doja Cat's, and in response, Doja actually started to block a bunch of people. Part 3. Doja Cat doesn't want to take accountability, and how she lashed out at her fans for them asking her to do so. Unlike the responses that she has been giving some of her fans or people who have criticized her new aesthetics and new music change, which I talked about in the previous section of this video, how it is valid to an extent, these comments and backlash and her blocking and fighting back with these fans who are rightfully concerned or have stories against her current partner is completely 100% different. This is no longer criticism about her hair, her style, or attitude change. This is now people trying to warn her and her completely ignoring them. She responded to an Instagram user who had commented, "Leave that white man," under one of her posts, writing, "He's effing me as I type this." She thought she ate that, but instead she regurgitated, you know? This is when it gets very messy and we start to leave the territory of, oh, I understand why she might be upset because of all the backlash she's facing, to then, okay, she's definitely just doing this to herself at this point, making it worse, not wanting to take accountability, clearly is the Lulu, like.
I want y'all to read this comment and take it as a message. I do not give a what you think about my personal life. I never have and never will give a you think about me or my personal life. Goodbye and good riddance, miserable hoes. Ha ha.
I don't know what to say. That is a crazy response to people saying your man's has allegations and I have experience with him, and your response is haha, you miserable hoes. Like, I get it, your whole thing is now like, oh, I'm not gonna let people, you know, trample all over me, I'm not gonna let people bully me online and for my decisions. But this is no longer about her hair or how she looks. This is like real life allegations against the person she has a close relationship with, so you cannot respond to it the same way that you would respond to someone unnecessarily giving you backlash for a haircut. There are so many influencers and celebrities who are in similar situations as Doja Cat, where their partners are hella sus, but people are a lot more dismissive of it. I never really know how to go about this topic whenever I do talk about like people, because I think talking about people's relationships or their partners goes a little bit too far, especially because at the end of the day, you are an individual aside from your relationship, and I do think that that your partner's actions has absolutely nothing to do with you. But I will say, at the end of the day, you did choose to be in a relationship with a person that people are saying has problems or allegations. So to be aware of that and to continue the relationship is a little sus. But at the end of the day, there's not much you can do when it comes to those types of situations, because people are going to date whoever the heck that they want. So in a way, Doja Cat, yes, can do whatever she wants when it comes to dating. However, what isn't okay is to then dismiss people's feelings who have had bad experiences with her partner. It's one thing to just not address it at all and just let things be swept under the rug, but then it's another to call people miserable hoes. Like, come on, we all know that's not the best response to something as serious as allegations. Doja Cat went on Instagram threads to say, "My life, my rules, my style, my attitude." Now, someone on a fan page says, "I want to hear you say, I do love you guys. As usual, you say to your fans." And Doja Cat responds with, "I don't though, cause I don't even know y'all." Then someone else by the username DailyTaylorT13 says, "And we don't know you, but we have supported you through thick and thin. Mind you, you'd be nothing without us. You'd be working at a grocery store making songs on effing GarageBand, Miss High School Dropout." Oh! I'm not gonna lie, Daily Taylor ate her up. Without fans and without followers or supporters, you would just be talking to an empty mic. I would be talking to an empty mic. And she would be singing moo, I'm a cow moo, to herself in her bedroom. But hey, nothing wrong with High School Dropouts. Oh, Doja Cat then responded with,
"Nobody forced you. IDK while you're talking to me like you're my mother. You sound like a crazy person."
I don't know why she's responding back to hate. Like, it seems so unnecessary. Like, girl, you're literally a millionaire. If you don't just turn off your phone and go to Bali for the week, like, bye. This was also after Doja Cat reportedly slammed her fans who asked her, "Oh, what do you want our fan base names to be? Do you want it to be kittens?" And she responded with,
"My fans don't name themselves. If you call yourself a kitten, kittens, that means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house."
It was just a question. Like, I understand if the person wrote it in a way to provoke her, but the fan didn't put it in a way to provoke her. It was literally just a question, or like, hey queen, just want to see what you suggest, and then Doja Cat was like,
"Literally jump off a cliff."
And because of Doja Cat just completely bashing these fan pages and followers, a lot of people have deactivated their fan page of her, which I understand. That must be heartbreaking for one of your faves to talk to you like that. However, this then brought up a conversation about
parasocial relationships with celebrities.
Part 4 and final part. Celebrities aren't your friends. Stop trying to find deeper connection with surface level relationships. I don't think I have to really fully explain what a parasocial relationship is, but I'll give you guys a definition anyways.
According to Wikipedia, parasocial interaction refers to a kind of psychological relationship experienced by an audience in their mediated encounters with performers in the mass media, particularly on television and on online platforms. Viewers or listeners come to consider media personalities as friends, despite having no or limited interactions with them.
And that's what it is. I get it. I do think, to an extent, I think it's very entitled to tell someone, like an influencer or celebrity, like, "Hey, can you tell me that you love me?" I personally do think that that's a little parasocially, like, weird. Like, why are you trying to get validation or love from someone who doesn't know you personally? Because then that love would be surface level and not real. Now, if you wanted just like a kind of moment with her and your fave celeb or your fave influencer, I get it. But at the same time, I do think that there needs to be boundaries between an influencer or celebrity or whatever, fans, and a person of status. There just has to be. And it's true, you aren't friends with them. It would cause a toxic power imbalance. However, I think the way that Doja Cat goes about it is not the best at all. And I think if Doja went about it in a way where it was more empathetic and more caring, then maybe it would have been received a lot better. But at the same time, the truth of reality is that a lot of people don't owe you kindness. And I know that sounds so crazy, but it's true. And you should not expect that from someone of that status, someone of that, she's literally a mega star. Like, everyone knows her. And to expect that type of behavior and putting her on a pedestal and expecting her to be better than the average person, I think it's delulu. Like, I really do think it's delulu. I think it's delusional. Because if everyday regular people have failed you and have treated you like crap or have had beef with you or whatever, even if you had it with your own parents or your own family members, what makes you think that a celebrity who doesn't even know you will give you more? For me, I think that is a sign and symptom of parasocial relationships, because you're putting this person that you don't know personally so high on a pedestal that you expect them to not be angry. You expect them to give you all the stuff that you think a normal person should give you, because you're expecting them to give you the sympathy, empathy, and understanding and visibility that someone would give you in a relationship, but you're not in a relationship with that person. You know what I mean? It's just a celebrity, it's just an influencer. They can't give you what you want because there is no actual relationship there. I do think that there are a lot of celebrities who have an excellent relationship with their fans, but in Doja Cat's case, I really do genuinely believe, guys, that she just took the backlash from her changing her aesthetic and her music and her look to heart, to the point where she became super bitter. And if that's the case, then that's fine. Let the people who don't get it, and then use that opportunity to get people who will truly appreciate your art to come. People come and people go. Fans come, fans go. People subscribe, people unsubscribe. People will follow, people will unfollow. That is just the ebb and flow of someone who is of any status, whether you're a micro influencer, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're an A-list artist or a B-list artist. Like, that is just the truth of the situation. The truth of the situation is also, you gotta pick and choose your battles, and that is so hard, guys. That is so hard. And to an extent, I do understand Doja's frustrations with her fan base, because even I, as a nobody, will come out and say that sometimes having a fan base is like a double-edged sword. A lot of these influencers that you guys watch are terrified to tell you what I'm about to tell you, but I'm gonna tell you. Having a fan base, being a person with a platform, is a double-edged sword, and there are times where you just wish that you never ever started the content or music or acting career that you wanted, because of your fan base being so quick to turn on you or harass you that you feel incredibly underappreciated, and you just feel like, why am I doing this? I'm just gonna quit. And I'm literally like a nobody compared to Doja Cat. So I've had a micro taste of how awful that feels. I can only imagine being a super mega star and getting that every single day. Mentally, that has to do something to you. Mentally, that just has to make you check out. Like, I can only imagine how she feels, and it seems like she just wants out. That's honestly what I see from her. So many people are having conversations now about how all of this seems so out there for Doja that it almost seems like it's on purpose. And the reason why she would be doing it on purpose is to get out of her musical contract that she's unhappy with. Doja has always been a person who has loved just doing solo work and just being a SoundCloud artist, as well as just being an internet meme and stuff like that. And it seems like once she rose into stardom, she kind of just didn't like it at all. And if she is doing this on purpose to get out of her contract and doesn't know how or what else to do because of, you know, disclosures and certain rules within the contract that tells her that she can't talk about it, that this is the only way she knows how to kind of have an out from it, I honestly wouldn't blame her, because I will say one very, very important point that no one brings up when they talk about the Doja Cat situation is that she works with Dr. Luke. People who have worked with Dr. Luke very often, in my opinion, what I have observed, in my opinion, no lawsuit here, Henny, is they end up kind of deteriorating mentally. Guess who has worked with Dr. Luke? Kesha, as well as Katy Perry, who is another artist who also cut off all her hair and went to therapy and ended up just not being the happiest person. Now she is, now that she kind of has stepped away from the limelight, from the spotlight. But there seems to be a pattern with Dr. Luke, again, in my opinion, where the people that he works with, specifically female artists, Doja Cat being one of them, where they eventually just seem so defeated and dead inside. I mean, she has come out and said that Hot Pink and her album Planet Her were cash grabs and that we all fell for it, saying Planet Her and Hot Pink were cash grabs and y'all fell for it. Now I can go disappear somewhere and touch grass with my loved ones on an island while y'all weep for mediocre pop. Which again, a lot of people read that as attitude, but the way that I read it is kind of like, hey, my label made me write music that I didn't want to write. And of course you can't outwardly and explicitly say that because there's NDAs, there's contracts and all type of stuff. But as someone, again, who knows a little bit about what happens behind the scenes, that's what it comes across as to me, you know, allegedly. Again, in my opinion, there is a major difference between being internet famous and then being famous. And I do think that Doja Cat always wanted to be internet famous. You know, obviously if you observe her attitude and all type of stuff from things that she said, the things that she said that she prefers when it comes to fame, as well as like the amount of times that she has spent on the internet and chat rooms and all that type of stuff, she just seems like she's not cut out for fame. And even if she comes out and says, y'all, I'm happy on my private island and y'all are miserable, just like she keeps saying in her tweets, I'ma just say this: if you're someone who's truly happy with your life, you will move in silence. And that's just that on that. Do I believe and think that she should apologize and acknowledge all the things that she's done? Duh. Do I think she's capable of even doing that right now? Not really. And here's the thing that I want to say. I'm not infantilizing her. I don't think it's that she's weak. I don't think that she's too fragile or too hurt or too traumatized to address everything. She flat out has said that she don't care. Doja just seems completely over it, and I'm not here to tell you whether to stan her or not to stan her. But honestly, I think this is one of those situations where this is an open-ended conversation, because it is up to you whether you want to keep supporting her or not. I can't force you to not support her or to support her, you know what I mean? I just think some people are taking it way too far. People talking about how she's perfectly fine and you guys just don't like her because she shaved her head, which sure is probably true for a couple of people who didn't like the change. All I know is something that we can all agree on is that when it comes to situations like this, when someone is acting out, when someone seems to be a bit off, or if there is a change, sometimes there is something deeper going on behind the scenes that we're just not a part of, and we kind of have no control over how people express that change or their frustrations. I do think that Doja is a victim of a sexist industry. I do believe that she does have some resentment against her fan base because of the aesthetic changes and the amount of backlash she received from that. Her personal life decisions, such as the whole tiny chat stuff and the, you know, her constantly getting really weird partners, that's just something we have no control over either, and it's something that she is refusing to apologize for or acknowledge. So asking for someone to be sympathetic and empathetic and for them to respond to something that they're just refusing to acknowledge is basically a massive waste of everyone's time. Does it make it right? Not really. Doja Cat posted on her story yesterday, and I was able to get a screenshot of it, saying, "Seeing all these people unfollow me makes me feel like I've defeated a large beast that's been holding me down for so long, and it feels like I can reconnect with the people who really matter and love me for who I am, not for who I was. I feel free." Whether all of this is on purpose or not, her story says to me that she is begging to get out of whatever situation she's currently in. So many people are begging of her to stay, begging of her to change, begging of her to take accountability when she clearly doesn't want to do any of that. What she wants the most is to clearly just leave and be free from whatever it is that's holding her down. And the longer that she stays in this situation that she's in, that she clearly is unhappy with, the worse everything's gonna get. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. This was a very long one. I had a lot to talk about. It's a topic that I definitely wanted to talk about when it was trending, but I definitely needed time to like kind of think about what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to say. If you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you guys are notified every time I upload, which is every other Sunday. Also, if you guys made it all the way to the end of watching this video, thank you so much. Comment down a duck emoji down below in the comments so I know that you guys actually watched the entire thing. Comment down below what your guys' whole opinion is on the Doja Cat situation. Remember, you are allowed to disagree with me. You are allowed to disagree with anyone else in the comments. Just remember to keep it cute, productive, and cordial. I, just like Doja Cat, am not afraid to block. Remember to follow me on Instagram. as well as my TikTok, which is under the same names. And before I go today, guys, you guys know I always give you some sort of homework. I want you guys to do something that you love today, make today count. Go take a little walk outside. Remember to drink water. Go eat some Cheez-Its. I don't know. I need to go take all of this off and remove all this makeup because I literally have an event that I have to go to in like 20 minutes. But other than that, thank you guys all for watching, and I do appreciate you guys. Thank you for always supporting me and watching my videos. It means the whole world. So I love you guys. Bye, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.